everybody, and welcome to Talking XP. I'm Johnny. I'm joined here today with Ryan. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good.
Right on. And we are also here with Phil Beckwith of PB Publishing. How you doing today, Phil?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I have the body aches from getting my booster shot, but it is what it is. We're going to get through this. If you all haven't checked it out already, we had the opportunity to play Phil's spooky, scary D&D 5e one-shot adventure, The Haunt, live on our Twitch channel. It was on October 25th. We've also posted it to our YouTube since then, and go ahead and check it out after listening to the interview. It was a lot of fun, and we think that you all would enjoy it as well. You also have a trilogy from The Haunt, the very first one, but we'll get more into that earlier. First off, what I want to know is how long have you been playing TTRPGs or just D&D in general?
Well, I think like a lot of people actually. I started back in when third edition first came out. I think it was 2000. But I picked it up. We played one or two sessions, and then just sort of disbanded, and then life got in the way. I didn't pick it back up again until 2014 when fifth edition came out. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, and then
it seems to be like a very like a similar theme between a lot of players today. I mean, like 5e blew up. I mean, thanks to Critical Role and all of the different types of streaming services. But yeah, no, I feel like 5e is like the gateway for all of the previous gamers to get back into it and all of the new gamers to finally understand and all that stuff. Because I know that. Yeah,
absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Just sort of opened up the doors for everybody really to jump back on board. And then the technology as well just sort of allowed that to explode, I reckon.
Right. Yeah. I think that's true.
Do you favor
how long have
5e?
you been?
Sorry. Do you favor 5e over third edition?
Yeah, at the moment, I mean, that's what I've got the most experience with. At the moment, I do. We'll see how things progress in the next few years or so.
Because I know they were talking about doing like a 5.5 or something like that. A lot of people are referencing it as like a 6, but they were saying, no, you could still keep all of your, the player's handbook and all that stuff. It sounds like it's just being like a rewrite of certain things that they need to like
just an adjustment, which makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with that. And I mean, like, it doesn't sound like they're trying to jump off this train anytime soon because it is booming. It's crazy.
Look, it's like any edition, right? You don't have to adopt anything new that comes out. You run your own rules at your own table, right?
Yeah. How long have you been creating content?
Since DM's Guild first came out, pretty much 2016. Yeah.
Sure.
So was that 5 years now? Yeah.
Was that what was your first thing that you made?
First thing that I made was a really can I swear on this?
Yeah, oh yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Really shitty adventure called Something Smells Fishy. It was a mystery. It was a murder mystery. It was terrible, but I learned a lot from it. So
sure.
It's not even on DM's Guild anymore, but there is one way to get it, and that's through purchasing the adventure anthology, but the PDF version. It comes as a special PDF that sort of comes with it.
Sure.
Just off the side. That it's not available anywhere else. But if you've got it, go have a look at it. It's really crap, and have a good laugh at it.
Well, I mean, and a lot of points to be made about that kind of content is that it gives the DM so much freedom to just add on top of it too. I mean, like, it might not be the best, but like getting content out there is like the main point, and then people can just build on top of it and make it better.
That's the point of it, yeah.
So that, I noticed that you were in a lot of like anthologies and collections and stuff like that. A lot of those you have The Haunt that's in there, because it seems to be like The Haunt is like your best seller that you've
That's my flagship. Yeah, that's my flagship. More than anything else, that's the one that just every year just booms. Every single.
I'm sure Halloween everybody just like buys it. Yeah.
It's seasonal.
What inspired you to write it, The Haunt?
Okay. So, well, originally it was the first little inklings of design in it were starting to form when I was trying to make a sequel to that Something Smells Fishy. But then as I was writing, I was like, you know what, this haunted house would just be better as a module in itself. So I just stripped it away and started building it from there as a one shot, and that worked really well. There's a certain character in it, which whoever's played it would be familiar with, the little doll. So that idea came to me, well, of course, with movies like Chucky and what have you, and Annabelle and that. But really what made me want to write about it was I walked into my daughter's room one night when she was asleep and turned off all the lights because she'd been watching something. And there was just a doll sitting there in the middle of the room, sitting upright. I turned around, just freaked the hell out of me.
That's when you throw that doll away.
And she's there. Yep. And I was like, no, that needs to be written into the adventure.
Yep. That's
I think definitely through our playthrough, because this is the third time that I ran it was on the stream. I've ran it twice before last Halloween. Both the first haunt and then also the second one.
Cool, Yep. Big shout out to Travis Legg for the second and third ones too. He helped me write those two.
Yeah.
I absolutely. Oh no, Johnny, that's fine.
You're good.
You got this.
No, I absolutely love the doll. I think the doll is probably always the hit every single time I've ran it. I think this last time I ran it was the best time I've done it, and I think they had the appropriate jump scares when needed.
And that's and when I was writing it, I guess I wrote it with the intention of it being more than just a D&D adventure, more of an experience, and try to give a bit of guidance into playing that with horror, and try to bring not just dice at the table to the game, but everything else, lighting, advice on how to jump scare and things like that too.
Right.
Yeah,
no, I think, and we paired it with Sirenscape. Shout out to Sirenscape because they have just awesome stuff.
Shout out in general to whoever the community member in Sirenscape that made the playlist for the haunt, because there is a playlist.
I've never found it. I've heard about it. it, and it keeps coming up every year, but I've never been able to find it. So if you can link it to me, that'd be great.
We'll put a link in the description and all that stuff straight too.
Big shout out to that person. Big thanks.
So great. They have a sound specifically for like
the lullaby,
like a toy. Dude, it is so creepy, and it is perfect.
Honestly, like I was planning on making a playlist like that, but then as soon as I found that somebody already is, like, oh wow, you saved me so much time trying to put together all these different pieces.
We were gonna try and use a Death House from Curse of Strahd. We were gonna use that sound, set and kind of pull pieces together. I know that he and I were gonna try and work together. There were like few things that he was like, okay, this is the vibe. And then I was like, okay, cool, we can use this. But whoever did that, perfect job. It was awesome. I really liked
that to me.
I really liked the puzzle part with the creating the flesh golem. That was awesome. And I thought that was a very interesting type of trap with like setting up a timer and all that stuff. That was really cool.
Yeah, something a little different than your standard.
Right. Yeah. No, I thought it was really cool.
A bit of everything in there too. Had like your own logical puzzle solving. And then I also had like roles and things like that to include in there as well, just to bring it back to the table.
Yeah. I think we all got it just by using the noggin for all three of them. We were like, I know I got the first two, and then I think Zach was the one that got the third one. And then I had originally got the second one, and then Ryan must have misheard me when I said the answer, and then I was like, how is it not 9 or whatever it was?
And then he's like, about wait, the rolls afterwards for the medical check to sew it.
Sure. I didn't know if you were talking about like a hint or something like that. That makes sense.
That's also a good idea too, right?
But I also love the other semi-puzzle in the game too, with the griffin. Like, I always think that's such a
I'm pretty proud of that one.
I sniped that one immediately. Once I saw the picture, I was like, oh, that's a puzzle. And I just immediately was like, this is it. I had skeletons because I was playing a necromancer, so I just had the skeletons doing it the whole time.
No, that's a good idea. A lot of people use Unseen Servant and things like that as well.
Sure. Yeah.
Which are helpful, but some people just pull it and then split the party completely. Then they're screwed.
Which I love it. I love it when that happens. Because the very first time I ran it in a single 8-hour session, which was a pretty intense session in general.
Yeah.
And it was
we were close.
Players. but yeah, they separated the party, and one of the players actually got killed by the cloaker that you had stacked away. I changed it. I changed it in our stream. I was trying to cut down on encounters to make it so it wasn't another 6 to 8 hour stream. Because I'm pretty good at making them go long. And we still went long. Cool. I think we went 5.5 hours in this last one.
5.5.
Yeah.
But I changed that encounter to another scene with Gertrude. Well, actually, I think it was the general that I used. I used the general to basically dispose of the wizard. I'm not sure if you ended up seeing the stream or not. I don't blame you.
I haven't seen it all yet. No, I've seen a bit of the live part, but I haven't watched it back yet. Yep.
It's obviously a long stream.
I'll set aside after that.
I did change that encounter to making a vision and then like a trap where everything's set on fire, kind of like you had set up in the dining room.
Yep.
And then
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you had stayed in the dining room, Johnny, you would have set on fire. Well, sorry, if you interacted with the ghost more so and stayed in the dining room for an extended period.
Yeah.
So I just kind of reflavored it. I got rid of the beholder in the lake, and I was setting it up with the trap.
Right.
But they never went out there anyway.
We never went close enough anyways.
No.
This little guy.
Oh, that's cool. Is that showing a zombie? Oh yeah, because that brings up another point. The trilogy, the hard copy, that has like a full thing of like 100 ready to go paper minis that you can use for running all three of them.
Every single month or so, there's like I don't know, say 10 specters in. I think in the second one there's a bunch of specters. There's 10 Spectre minis in the book, which are ready. I know a lot of people don't like it, but they're ready to cut out and and make from the book itself. The books that book's really intended to be a special edition, a bunch of extra stuff that you can just grab, take to the table. All you need is friends and dice, and away you go.
Right.
See, that's something else that we should have started off saying, that you have this beautiful hardcover copy of the trilogy. It looks very nice. Great.
Yeah. I don't have it here. I've sold out.
I'm not surprised.
Sold out. Well, good for you. That's awesome. Yeah. That's great.
No, like I said, I did play the second one, and I've read through the third one. I really was a fan of the whole set.
Thanks, man.
Next year for Halloween, we'll
do the second
do
one.
number 2. Use reprise our roles as our characters and continue forward. That'd be funny.
Yeah,
absolutely.
How long did it take for you to write the very first one? The
very first one. Oh, that's a good question.
Because I know you were saying that you were kind of writing it for Something Smells Fishy, and then you took that out and then made its own thing.
Yeah. So I reckon probably over the course of about 2 months, I got the manuscript down, and then the next sort of month or so, I was putting it together in layout and getting art together and doing the production side of things. And then I released, I think it was February 2017.
That's awesome.
So it would have been about 3 months in total, I reckon. Yeah.
Sure. And do you do this kind of like on the side, or do you have like a...
No, I do it on the side. So my day job is, I work for a tech company. Senior consultant at a tech company. So this is sort of a nice creative side thing that I can do out of hours, up late every night. That sort of thing.
Did you ever run this for anybody else? Did you like do any playtesting or anything like that? I'm sure you did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I ran it most years. The first one mostly. I ran the second as well. But we did some playtesting for all of them. That's definitely cool. And also big shout out to playtest groups that helped me out with the first and the second one mostly. Just the D&D 5e, the big D&D 5e Facebook group. I just put out a request for playtesters, and I got so many people. I had to actually turn some people away, which
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
A
lot of people jumped on that and playtested it for me and really helped me tighten the screws on it, and that was a huge help.
What would you say is the biggest change that you had to do from when you first wrote the first one?
So from the playtesting?
Yeah.
From when you first wrote it and then after the playtesting, what did you change?
Yeah, probably probably the biggest thing was probably the portcullis that comes down on the staircase. People were going in and it's gone straight up to the top floor and missing out a whole heap of the story. Right. While I'm not all about railroading or anything like that, I definitely wanted them to experience a little bit of it, which is why after a few rooms, it will go straight back up again.
Right. Yeah.
I found
that makes a lot of sense.
I found that to be an issue as well in this version of our playthrough, because they were playing the races that just happened in classes that could phase through it, like they were gonna wild shape through it. They were gonna gaseous form through
That'll
it.
happen though.
Misty step. It was. We were totally just gonna skip through it.
That was the only out of the 3 times I ran it. That was the only time where they were gonna skip it, which was interesting.
But you got to reward that though. I mean, that's
for sure.
The character, right? Yeah.
We were also on the side, kind of like, all right, we're playing this guy's one shot. Like, you need to like actually show what it is, not just skip through the end. You know, like let's go around and check everything out.
That's all right.
It was pretty funny.
Well, to be fair, in that moment, that's when I pulled the doll out for the first time.
Oh,
because so half of them had gone up the stairs through the grate, and I said, because they all noticed the doll when they first walked in, and I made a very specific comment, like, oh, the doll's not there anymore. And then I made it.
Then everyone got distracted with the griffin statue.
yeah, exactly.
That's 100% exactly what happened. Yeah.
We
I saw the griffin and I was like laser focused on that.
Having a good laugh.
So just when you first wrote the haunt, obviously when you were first writing it, you didn't really think too much of it, but did you think that you were going to be making a trilogy, or did you just kind of like organically? No. Yeah. I was just curious.
The haunt took off, and especially that following Halloween. So and Travis Legg, who's a good friend of mine, but mostly a good friend of mine. Firstly through the haunt, he came to me and he said he loved the adventure, and then I said, look, I'm looking at making a sequel, but I want to bring you on board because he's got a big background in film, in horror. Indie film.
Cool.
So it's especially with horror stuff as well. So I said, look, come on board, mate. And he's awesome. super talented writer as well. So at that time I had a lot of other things going on too. So we sort of wrote that together to sort of lessen the load on myself, because I was running PB Publishing at that time as a publishing company. Not just as my own solo writing. So I brought him on board, and he helped out, and he really put some awesome spin on it, for the second and third.
That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't personally read second or third one. I think I'm just going to keep it.
I won't give away too many spoilers.
Yeah, right. Without giving anything away, it's really great because it delves into the story that you've discovered through the first one. Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, and that's not a spoiler because I've only seen a few things, so I have no idea what to expect with the second and third. I think that's a great idea. Let's play that next year, and we'll continue the story. Do you have any other exciting projects that you're working on currently?
I've just finished up on a really cool project for Goodman Games. Just doing a bit of freelancing for them. I can't really talk about it, but it's really cool. Really big one that you should be keeping an eye out for.
Sure. Where can the people look out for it?
Just go follow Goodman Games on
Goodman Games.
Yeah, Goodman Games. They're the guys who do all the D&D classics, reincarnated books, all the old school adventures.
Sure.
But cool. There's some big stuff coming out from them, so definitely keep an eye out for them. Big shout out to those guys too, really cool guys to work with. What else am I working on? A few little bits and bobs, but at the moment really just taking a bit of a step back and having a bit of a break after releasing the Haunt trilogy. So working on a couple of little small things always, but nothing huge at this point.
Okay. Can you take us through, I know that we don't want to talk too much in spoilers, but a light spoiler description of the trilogy itself, so that, people will be more likely to pick up the trilogy / any of the adventures on their own?
Yeah, so each adventure in the trilogy, I think, has a different horror spin, whereas the first one's a bit more, I don't know, thematic gothic and really delves into that sort of slow burn storytelling of a haunted history, whereas the second one is more of a outright slaughter fest.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, it's more of a dungeon delve, but it's more, I think, on a grotesque body horror side of things, more than anything else. And the third one's a bit more, I guess, psychedelic style, a bit more of a psychedelic spin on it.
God, I'm so intrigued.
There's different types of horror, and we tried to hit on, it's a little bit of a different spin on each one to keep it fresh. And I guess you're going to learn a lot more about the evil doll and what makes the evil doll the evil doll.
Sure. Yeah, I love it.
Without giving away any spoilers.
That sounds so intriguing. I want to play it already, but
yeah, the second one's a bit more visual.
Sure.
The second one's a bit more visual.
I think
that's cool.
Next October when we do it, Johnny, we might want to
two-part it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea instead of a 5.5 hour.
Yeah.
Maybe a content warning on that one too.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good call.
Additionally, we could also, it depends if we want to do the second and the third one, just do the whole month of October.
Hey, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, get it all done with. So look forward to that, everybody.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So do you have any helpful tips for any of the DMs that are using, specifically we'll go with the haunt. That way there's no spoilers. Everybody that's probably listening might have already seen our, stream. If not, go check it out. But any tips?
Yeah, definitely. There's a few good tips that I sort of, I've even put into the book as well. I like turning down the lights. I like playing by candlelight. I think not only does that give that sort of darker atmosphere, it also brings the focus into the table and really brings that focus on what's happening. There's no sort of distractions around the room or anything like that. You're not looking at, the book over in the corner or whatever. It's everything's here, and then you can really start to focus in on the storytelling and the mood. I think the mood is really important that way.
I'm like 90% sure right before we actually started playing, all of us were like, we had lights on and we were like, no, let's turn them off. And we all just turned off our lights and just went with it. So I think, that's definitely a good
straight in, don't you?
Mm-hmm. It was, sure. That was a really cool, that's a really cool tip.
I think the soundboard really works as well. It just adds to it. So like I said, when I wrote this, I wanted it to be more of an event than just a standard session of D&D. So I wanted to add ideas on how to do that. Another thing I like to do when I run it is actually try and keep my voice quite low and steady when describing things that are happening. But when the doll comes out, because you're so low, you can just bring it straight up and get that jump scare, and it gives you a range to go to. So like you're talking really low, then bang, the evil doll jumps out, or just really low, and then all of a sudden you hear this pitter patter feet running in the background, a lullaby happening somewhere in the background, and it just gives you that range that you can work with, rather than just everyone sort of shouting at the table,
Yeah, those are great points. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, especially with like a horror type of adventure, you have to build the ambiance, because it's so hard to get those jump scares in D&D. It's really hard unless you have the entire ambiance set and you know how to relay information in that perfect way to where people are just holding on until you finally throw it at them.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. And I think bringing it right in, I think, and all of that mixed together, the lighting, and then also just talking in that sort of lower tone, and just getting people to focus in, really gives you that opportunity to go big. So you don't start big.
I cannot stress enough how amazing that Sirenscape sound set was. Like,
I'm gonna go check it out.
That lullaby song threw us out. Like, we were like, nope, we're done. We're done. Okay. Like, it was great.
No, another cool sort of background music that I like to give people, like because I didn't have the Sirenscape thing, but one is this a YouTube video. It's pretty funny. It's the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song, just slowed down by 800 times, and it is freaky. Go find it. It's hilarious, but it's super freaky. Just have that in the background. It's so unnerving. It's ridiculous.
We'll find and link that in the chat for everybody who's
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. That way people can use it at their table if they don't have Sirenscape. That is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it is so unnerving, man.
See, I'm trying to think. The other encounters that I removed and adjusted, I got rid of the phase spiders encounter because one of our players had the phobia for spiders, so we had to do that.
Yeah, fair call. Yep. I did say that, yep.
We did also get rid of, because we kind of just sped run the end because we were so long. So we got rid of the ghoul and the other undead, which I was already thinking I was going to get rid of that one anyways, just because...
Yeah.
I'm just trying to reduce combat as much as
they weren't super important to the adventure anyway.
Sure. I made sure to do all the different scenes because that's the important.
Yeah, those
part
are cool.
Of this.
I loved that part where we were watching like what had happened and how this hag had slowly corrupted this general, and you start off with them at dinner and she comes in and then we're like, oh, that's the bad thing, and then we go into that. I know that, Ryan, you wrote this one with the fire and all that stuff, but that was even cooler too because when we went in, it was like, oh, there's the next part.
I basically expanded upon Phil's letter that he had the little mage wizard do. So I expanded upon that to build
the other, and that's exactly what I want to happen with these adventures, right? I want DMs to shape them and make them their own. I just provide the palette, and people can go and change it how they want, right? So
I love it. Absolutely. I love that for D&D. It's awesome.
It's the whole point.
And that's what makes a DM so much better, is getting all of this content and understanding like where starting points. Like these are starting points that you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
You buy one adventure, you read it through, you buy another adventure, like, I like that, let's mash them together, make it into my homebrew campaign. That's one of the biggest things that DMs need to do is...
And they're just tools in the back of your mind that you can just spit out at any time, right? And this could go good here. And yeah, absolutely.
Especially when you run something and then you go through another adventure and you're like, with a different group, and you're like, I ran this, that would be really cool to just throw in there. You have that. Yeah, it's great.
Definitely helped me with, like I said, being my third time doing it, because I really understood the flow of it, I think, by that point, and what was important and what was not as important, and then especially also knowing with where the second one goes as well, because when I first ran it, I think I read the second and third one, but I didn't have as good of a grasp on it. And unfortunately, I totally would have done the third one too, but the players I was playing with were getting a little bit burnt out, so I kind of wrapped up the second one to be like a big conclusion battle with it all above the wreckage of the town.
That
was, I think, probably one of the most intense encounters I've ever ran.
Really?
I gave her lair actions and stuff like that, where she
that's cool.
the spikes and stuff.
Cool.
It was interesting. But
one of the things that I noticed too was, so the haunt is 4th or 5th players, or 4th or 5th level. Haunt 2 is 5th or 6th level, and then haunt 3 is 7th and 8th. Right? There's like a little bit of a jump there, if I remember correctly. Is there like a thing in between the two of them that you have, or is that just like?
No, I think really for the hardcover, I've actually increased the level for the first two.
Okay.
Yeah, because 4th level really is deadly for the first adventure.
Sure.
It's really made for 5th level.
I think that's the one I killed the player on, was when they were 4th level. I resurrected them because it was their first time playing. Like, okay, your warlock has granted you extra life. But now you're in a pact, so it.
Sure.
The beholder is the one that usually kills most people.
Oh yeah.
See,
claimed a lot of lives.
I believe it with the disintegration ray alone.
Yeah. It is brutal. But hey, if people want to go get that thing, then that's the risk, right?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, with all of that aside, one fun question that we had, and just curious in general, what is your favorite D&D class to play?
Ooh, good question. I don't get to play enough.
You're forever DM.
Let me think. I love wizards. I love wizards just because of the flavor that you can just throw into it. And actually really cool book, that collaborative book that me and a bunch of other Aussie creators made was Big B's handbook. What was it? Big B's handbook of creative spell use, where it really just brings together. It's like a cookbook of spells that you can mash together to make certain effects or certain combos and things like that, which really help each other out in different situations. Is really cool, really cool.
Sure.
It's suggested for any spellcaster. But yeah,
I love
that
description
sort of stuff
too. That way, anybody that wants to check it out, that's awesome.
See, I feel like it's very common that DMs definitely are attracted to spellcasters, like full spellcasters. Like
maybe
wizards just, man, they're so versatile and just amazing.
They have so many subclasses to choose from.
I know.
Like you could literally go any which way with it. I
Yeah,
mean, if you want to be a melee fighter, you can do a blade singer. Like
blade singers are nuts.
Yeah.
Blade singers are nuts. They're insane.
My
They're
very
so
first
good.
character was a necromancer, so
awesome.
I've always loved them, right? So
I played a necromancer in our playthrough. I played like a undead dragonborn necromancer that it was great. I love it. It was awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. That was very informative and awesome. For anybody listening,
I was just laughing at Zach's character that he.
Oh yeah, the skeleton that gains sentience. So funny, so dumb. Just making a monk, a skeleton that has nothing on him, just punching people. So funny.
Didn't you guys name it or something? I can't remember.
Mr. Skeleton, the skeleton. It was we're all over the place. It was great. I
had a good laugh at that.
Yeah. Well, everybody that's listening, please make sure to follow Phil on Twitter. We'll have a link in the description directly to the Twitter page. And check out his DMs Guild page full of awesome content. We'll also have the link in the description. And if you haven't checked out our playthrough of The Haunt, you can check it out on our YouTube channel. We'll, again, have the link in the description. But yeah, anyways, that's it for now. So thank you all for joining us, and make sure to level up, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Cheers, bye.